This is Norwalk Raceway Park in Ohio, with over 40,000 drag racing fans in attendance for the most explosive motorsports in the world. Today, we're featuring the classic dragsters, Top Fuel, otherwise known as the Slingshots. Keep your eye on Gene the Snowman Snow, the first man in history to break 5 seconds for the quarter mile. And of course, Michael Brotherton, current World Championship leader. Now, let's go trackside with Brett Kepner.
Since the association's inception in 1971, the International Harvard Association has offered an aspect of professional drag racing that is available in few other forms of motorsports: professional category nighttime qualifying. During the Saturday nights of each IHRA National Championship event, the pro qualifying final sessions are presented to the fans under the lights after the sun has gone down in professional drag racing's most spectacular fashion.
And the folks have certainly turned out record crowds of spectators and a record car count. Over 600 machines are on that 100 acres of property. A great place to be. Top Fuel quarterfinal action. Our first matchup will pit Wayne Bailey, a rookie in Top Fuel, against Jack Ostrander.
Ostrander, hailing out of Pontiac, Michigan, qualified number 4 for the event here today. Wayne Bailey, the new rookie on the block, just got his license at the Fall Nationals last year, qualified number 5. So the middle of the field meeting up right here.
Bailey pulling into position, number 5 in points. There you see the man. A little rap from one of his crewmen on the helmet, wishing him luck as he pulls up the stage. There's a look at Jack Ostrander, qualified number 4. Number 4 in points by just 80, so he can really make up some ground right now with a successful run.
Ostrander, the bowling magnate, as he owns the 300 bowl lanes up in Pontiac, Michigan.
And a huge launch there for Ostrander. Problems for Ostrander now. Bailey in a walkover.
Wayne Bailey could make an important points move in this race. Bailey a 5:34, 271 miles per hour from a 5-year-old dragster.
I guess he's got that thing wrenched up right. Here is the points leader, the man everyone is trying to catch, Michael Brotherton, who moved into the points lead at the last event in Atco, New Jersey, and will try to hold on to it now against another Top Fuel rookie. This is Kenny Koretsky.
Well, Koretsky came to us out of the pro stock ranks. Now he's dropped into a Top Fuel dragster, and that's a big step to take from going 170 to 270 in just 1 year.
Brotherton, number 1, qualified second in this field behind Gene Snow. Kenny Koretsky, number 10 in points, qualified number 7 in this field.
There you look into the eyes of Kenny Koretsky, the Sunoco-sponsored machine, as he stages very carefully. And for a rookie, he's making a good showing.
He is indeed. He is developing a reputation as a giant killer. Brotherton won the last event. If Koretsky can get by him here, you know there will be some joy in the pit area. And Brotherton breaks right off the line. Kenny Koretsky will have a walkover.
Koretsky picks up a 5:41, 263 miles per hour. Now that probably won't stand good enough for lane choice.
And a lot of it came right off the tree. A slow reaction time for Koretsky. Look at the oil spilling out both behind and underneath Michael Brotherton's car. Wow, get the mop, Ted.
I'll tell you who's really concerned about this. Eddie Hill and Richard Holcomb are sitting back there in the build-up area. Now, guess who has lane choice? Eddie Hill qualified number 3, Holcomb number 6, and now that lane choice really gets critical because Brotherton has really put a lot of oil down.
Holcomb, keep in mind, is second in points. He desperately wants to get into this one. He doesn't want to be put into this lane. And the explosion came right off the start line.
As soon as he dropped the clutch, the initial impact to those rear slicks, and everything let go. There's transmission oil out there. There's oil from the engine. It is a real mess.
Well, we'll find out in a moment if, in fact, Koretsky will survive the lane choice bargain. He will be meeting the winner of this matchup, Eddie the Thrill Hill, unranked in points, running a partial schedule this year in the IHRA series, up against Richard Holcomb, number 2 in points, number 1 qualifier for this meeting a year ago.
Now's when having a great wrench like Clayton Harris really counts, because Holcomb hopefully has got the clutch set right, and we'll see in just a moment. No, he doesn't.
Neither he nor Eddie Hill have the clutch set right. Huge plumes of smoke from both cars Slow run for Eddie Hill, but he did get there first.
Well, a 673 is nothing to brag about, but it gets you into the next round. We'll take one more look at it. Both of them up in smoke instantly, but Clayton Harris still had a little bit too much clutch in Richard Holcomb's car. That's very difficult to set up after all of that oil, Bob, because you want enough clutch in it that when you get off of the oil, you can go win the race.
And you can tell how these cars climb in RPM. In that one shot at the starting line, no smoke at all in Eddie Hill's lead, but shortly thereafter the cars went up and boiled, simply because of the RPM turned out by that enormous 4,000 horsepower engine. Here's a name familiar to drag racing fans anywhere. This is Kenny Bernstein, the former multi-time champion in Nitro Funny Cars, now in Top Fuel. 8th qualifier, just barely making the field. He'll be going up against Mr. #1 qualifier, Gene Snow.
Well, and two-time IHRA world champion, and I can't do anything wrong, and he's already beat Eddie Hill at the finals in New York, Gene Snow. So this is David and Goliath, believe it or not. Kenny's had a tough time of it ever since he went to Top Fuel. With a crew chief, though, like Dale Armstrong, I'm sure they'll get a lick sooner or later.
The cars launch quickly, and both of them go up in smoke. Looks like Snow will have the advantage, just barely.
Gene Snow pulls it out, not by any too much. A 557, 226 miles per hour to Bernstein's losing 570. Watch now, when they come off that pad, Norwalk has very short concrete pads. And when they come off that pad, that's when they're breaking loose.
This is Eddie the Thrill Hill, who will be going up against Kenny Koretsky, a young rookie who is really making a name for himself.
Well, as just about every fan knows, the Thrill was the first guy to break into the magic 4-second barrier a couple years ago in IHRA competition out in Texas. In the first round of this race, he managed to drop off Richard Holcomb. But remember, he put Holcomb on that oily track. We're not really sure what the Thrill can do, because in that round, he went a 673. So we don't know what Hill has in store in this car. Fuzzy Carter, the crew chief, looking over right now, back at the clutch can, and he motions Eddie, everything's fine, go ahead and stay.
Eddie with White Kersey out front. There are the eyes of one of the youngest drivers in Top Fuel right now, Kenny Koretsky, who, as we mentioned earlier, was getting his feet wet in professional drag racing in a pro stock car last year. Eddie Hill goes up in smoke off the line. This has got to be the biggest thrill ever for Kenny Koretsky.
Kenny Koretsky with a 560, 264 miles per hour. The rookie is into the finals. He applauds his hands. He's one happy guy.
There you see the big slicks gouging the racetrack and then going up in smoke. Not enough rubber there to bring all of that horsepower in the Thrills car to the ground. Kenny Koretsky moves on to the final, and now we'll find out who he will meet up against. This is Gene Snow, a former world champion, a two-time winner here at Norwalk, hoping to match Don Garlitz as the only three-time consecutive race winners in Norwalk Top Fuel history.
This is going to be another experienced veteran against a rookie, Bob. Wayne Bailey is his competition in the near lane.
Bailey knocked off Jack Ostrander in the first round. Gene Snow got by Kenny Bernstein. The white car of the Texas oil man Snow in the background. In the foreground, Wayne Bailey. Good starts for both cars. Snow having a little trouble keeping it straight. This could be Bailey's, and it is.
Look at that car move on top end. Wayne Bailey, 542, 237 miles per hour. Watch him look over his shoulder in the replay after he goes through the finish line.
An all-rookie final. Somebody is in for a real emotional payday today. Here is Wayne Bailey, and there is Kenny Koretsky.
Well, I think a lot of the riders who follow the IHRA circuit really thought they were going to see a repeat of the New York final, Bob, because we had Hill and Snow, Bailey and Koretsky in the semifinals. And who's in the finals? Bailey and Koretsky, the two rookies, as the veterans, Snow, Hill, Holcomb, Brotherton, and Bernstein look on.
It has certainly scrambled the points, but points don't mean anything here. Neither of these guys really in the running for the championship. This is all for pride.
Wayne Bailey in the first round turned a 534. He followed that up with a 542, so you know he's got to be thinking 530s. Meanwhile, Kenny Koretsky in the last round could only muster up a 560, and the round before that, a 541. Bailey has to be the favorite in this rookie matchup.
There you see Bailey wearing those special sunglasses Brett talked about earlier. Koretsky will do without. Koretsky in the far lane. Bailey now to the right of your screen. Bailey is staged. Now Koretsky stages. Both cars away. Good starts for both cars, but Bailey in the near lane has the advantage and wings it just barely.
That car can charge on top end. Bailey, a 533, 273 miles per hour. Look at this car move in the last 200 feet of that drag race.
It is a 5-year-old race car, but it sure works.